Hi, what's up? It's Liv. And um yeah, we're just gonna listen to Mr. Jeremy Soule today. Anyhow, um what I wanna try and get done today, I was gonna do it yesterday, but I took a detour into my detour, okay? So we have to I actually have to re-implement um my keyboard handling in X, alright? So that now I can write console applications that are able to take keyboard input and they work exactly or close to the same in both X and in the virtual console, in the Linux virtual console. So that's the objective. So okay, go into the project folder here. And yeah, this was meant to be an editor, but things happen. So anyhow, I want to move, well, first and foremost, I want to remove this thing here. Actually, let me move the source file first, just so I don't delete it by accident. that it's funny, right? But that kind of thing sometimes happens. Um, it wouldn't happen right now. I'm pretty sure of it, but I'm still paranoid that it would. So yeah. Okay. So alright. So all clean. Okay. So actually, I want to rename this. It's gonna have to be X keyboard, right? Okay. I'll deal with writing the header later. Okay. So the good thing is keyboard is even with my distaste for object-oriented programming, it's just what comes with years of experience. Even with my distaste for it, I still sort of followed along some object-oriented guidelines um, when making this module. And the good thing about it is that it's a fairly encapsulated, meaning you can just import this header and have all of the keyboard functionality without having to deal with anything else, right? So you don't have to bring in the clock or the display in order to utilize the keyboard. Well, the display in the, how do you say, in the virtual console kind of sense. This is just some very baseline drawing functions into the terminal. So it's not like actually a display, but I thought, well, what the heck. Anyhow, enough of that. Let us open, not the same thing. Let us open these files. And one thing I always like to do is I don't need this anymore. Oh, but I'm gonna have to add in this dependency. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So let's actually do that. So I'm gonna go into Automat. And if you don't know how Automat works, it's basically my implementation of Make. It's written entirely in Perl, of all things, of all languages, I should say. And it has a bunch of cool things. So anyhow, one of the features is I can just go in here, run the config, and it will just work. That's basically that. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else I need to add in here. No. Okay, so I will keep this tab open so I can run the config later on. But apart from that, no, nothing further. Okay, so we can just. Oh, and here's a fun bit. Here's a fun bit. Let me tell you about this one. So I know this function is defined within some object into the X11 library. but I could not for the life of me remember in which header it is declared, right? So what I did is I looked up the man page and just copied the signature, okay? So I redeclared the function because I already know that once I link it with the library, the definition is going to be there. So yeah, that's a thing you can do. That's a thing you can do, yes. And then, so basically what it does is just, it sort of nullifies the effects of auto repeat, because for some reason, and I suppose this is one of those legacy bad decisions, when you have auto repeat, when the X server has auto repeat enabled, it will generate key release events even if you have not physically released the key. It's what? I mean, what? That's, like, I know I shouldn't judge, but that seems like the product of multiple years of stupidity. That's just really bad design on my view. But anyhow, let's do a little bit of Doku. Let's do one for the ducks. So X keyboard, yuck reimplementation. And yeah, I'm gonna keep saying yuck because I mean, I'm grateful for all of the things that the X server is giving me, right? Namely Windows and graphics and things and all of that stuff. But it's really terrible to work with. I don't like it one bit. So anyhow, Libre software, license under GNU GPL 3, be a bro and inherit. Inherit. Okay. So contributors live, and that's me. Okay. Anyhow, okay. So sort of the paradigm of how to say, the paradigm of my system is that you only really have one window, okay? That you have one process, one window. You might have one window and multiple processes, but not one process and multiple windows. That's up to the window manager. Anything else, single window. Multiple processes, if you may, but single window. So this is just a global state, and that's that, basically. So the first thing I have to do here, actually, there's two parts to this. On one hand, I have to sort of imitate the interface that that I've already defined for the keyboard, right? Because I like it this way. You know, it might have a few flaws here and there, but it works the way I want it to. Okay. And so yeah, I don't really have a reason to change much here. Maybe a couple things here and there. But baseline, it works the way I want it to. So what I want to do is sort of take this and try and re-implement it in X. So the first thing we have to do is the initialization, all right? So this is fairly straightforward. Okay? We first need to use iopen, which simply does a couple things to put the console in raw mode so that we don't get echoing and any of those stuff. It also kills signals, but like it does some signal handling. And it actually does forbid you from doing like Control-C to terminate. And things of that nature. Hmm. So yeah, maybe we want to do some more advanced signal handling there, but for now, let's just leave it as it is. And and then it does this pass, which this is interesting because this I needed to read in trash left over in standard in from like what you type in the console. I don't remember the technical reasons why it happens, but yeah, it just like it has like a couple characters left in the. If you don't discard them, they just stick around. So I don't think I need to do that for X. We'll see. Okay. But the first thing, well, it's gonna be this. Okay. So, hmm, do I want to do? Excuse me. The way I want to do is to have functions with the same signatures and then just swap out a pointer, right? That would be my idea. So we would have some interface, and it would declare, for instance, for the initialization here, we have something like keyboard init, right? And then the arguments, and then we just assign this. We assign something to this function pointer, and yeah, that's that basically based on I think it's what was to get an environment variable. We want display, right? So um, so if this is null, if this returns null, then I can't remember how the function is named. Let me check real quick. Get emb, okay. So we need to do a get emb, right? And I suppose we would do it with a string compare, why not? Or maybe I can just do something like p and just compare this to null and say, for instance, index. And this is just for demonstration. It's not code that I'm actually going to use, but just to get my mind straight before I make any design decisions, right? So, am I actually recording? Okay, recording paranoia, chapter 128. Okay, so edX would have to be the reference t, so the first character is other than null, right? Actually, just to make sure, right? Because the precedence, I'm always shaky on what the precedence is, so I'd like to wrap it like that. Anyhow, then we can use this index to check for something else here. Okay. So here's an example of this. So nihil is a type def. Goes like this. So it's type def void nihil void. So nihil because it's a void function taking void arguments, right? So it's a function you can just call. Okay. 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 Let me check the definitions for that. I think it's like this. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that. Okay. maybe I should make a type def for these, but I think it's overkill. I really do think it's overkill. So, okay. So the point is, we make an array of functions. Function pointers, actually. Right? And we index into that array according to this condition. Or maybe not. Maybe we just make it like a static, right? So, you know, static, I think it should be something like this. And we should, I'm guessing we equal this. Or do I have to give it a name? I can't remember for the life of me. Do I have to give it a name? And this is just, well, crap. I always forget this part. It's one of the most twisted syntaxes in C. To be honest, I don't like it one bit. Okay, let's just roll with it and assume that this is the way it works. So because I know that if I do it as a type def, right? I know that if I do it as a type def, then I can just say keyboard init name and then equals. Now, if I do not do it as a type def, is this the name? It's weird. It's weird. Okay, but let's suppose we do it as a type def, and as a type def, as a static. Just a static, no type def. And then we have some init hook, right? Some void init hook. And what it does basically is just take this and actually we can just do it like this, right? So if we have a display, then for every one of these functions we want to assign the pointer to the correct function, right? So in this case, suppose it's x key and t, right? Something like that. Works for me. And then we would have on the other side keyboard init. That would be key and t. And actually, the and there is unnecessary. I think it just in the conversion to pointer. I think it's implicit. I'm pretty sure that it is. So yeah, unnecessary. So so yeah, that should work. That should work just fine. And then if we make it so these entry points into the API, so to speak, if we make it so these entry points the same, have the same signature, then the internals can vary as much as they want, long as these signatures remain the same. So right, see here you have a good example of some kind of I would like to call this some kind of object-oriented principle, right? Because you're basically we reaping the benefits of encapsulation. But here's the thing: I'm not doing encapsulation in a typical way, right? Like I have a lot of getters for starters, right? I have some getters, and usually, you know, it will be frowned upon for you to expose internals. I'd say I need those internals. Let me just have them. So basically, I'm punching through the encapsulation. That's fine by me. I don't care if the encapsulation is punched. I care that this works. I care that this is functional. And so yeah, all right. So one thing at a time. What I guess we should do probably is make a third file for all the common functions, right? because we're gonna have common functions and common state between these two modules, the Linux implementation, well, the virtual console implementation and the X implementation. And so for one, this one, the terminus restore, this is important, and for both, because on both cases we want to, because we're running this in a terminal, we want to disable echoing and things like that, and signal handling, and well, we want to go into raw mode, but we also want to restore the previous state. So we need this one. We need our input buffer if we want to do textual input. We want our event stack because I'm not going to deal with X11 events. I'm going to deal with them as little as humanly possible. Okay, I'm going to deal with X events as little as humanly possible, and that's gonna be it. And the rest of the handling, I'm gonna do it myself. And so I still need this key states array. So all in all, there's a lot of data and methods that are going to be common across both implementations. So naturally, I would have to make that one shared by both, because we're only going to use one at a time, so it's not problematic. Okay, and well, and these macros as well, right? These macros to get the state of keys. This is also, and these two. So actually, what I should do is do a little bit of renaming, right? So we have X keyboard on one hand, and here I'm gonna have BT keyboard, something like that. And so then keyboard proper is going to be just the interface that picks what you're actually going to use. So yeah, okay. A lot of lot of work ahead. So most of it is gonna be copy and paste. So I think yes. Plus. All right. So let's move. Oops. Let's move keyboard.c into. Okay. BT. Yeah. Let's do the same for the header. Okay. And now I want to touch keyboard.c. Okay. So this is getting a little bit out of hand. I should probably put it in its own folder, right? But for now, this is okay. So anyhow, keyboard.c, bt keyboard.c, and x keyboard.c. All right. So yeah, let's begin by copying and pasting for the most part. Okay. So I know that all of these I want to put in its own, and I suppose the getters as well, right? So this all getting state of keys, the signal handling, I close, I open. Yeah, actually most of this is just functionality of the keyboard outside of its being if the input is being sent is being handled by X or the kernel or the naked kernel, I should say. So, yeah, yeah, basically mostly all of it. All right, so I got my work cut out for me. Okay. He said, yeah, most of this stuff. Okay. All right, so here is where we have a little bit of a not really. Because here is where we're doing we're converting a Linux key code into my personal layout that I've defined. I think I showed you once. It's this one. Right, this whole translation table. So it's passing the Linux key code through the translation table, and the is release is just if the original key code is higher than 7F, right? So 128, and that's that basically. Then if it's not X or is an index beyond the key count, then we know it's either an error or a key that that's not within our bindings, and so we just discard it. And else, just a whole bunch of handling, this making sure that on tap functions run only the first time you press it, right? Not when you keep it held down. And just an implicit else here for the release handling. Yeah, okay. So and this one could probably work without. Well, what I'm thinking is actually, because now that I look at this, it's obvious that the only real difference is the reading. The only real difference is the reading and the initialization. Oh, and the fact that I need a destructor. My God, that is so lame, right? Because I need to make this call the close display stuff. Fucking weird. Yeah, I need to make this call, suppose. And I need this display and window stuff. So that's exclusive to X. Forget about this one. Okay. So actually, it's not so much that I need to replace. Or let me rephrase that. Not that much that I need to re-implement. You know what? What I'm thinking is, what I should do is make a translation table that just turns the X11 key code, just takes that and translate it into the table that I'm using. And so then I can basically use the same, more or less the same calls with minimal modification. It would be a little bit more work. But can I do it? Yes, of course. Now the problem with this is, obviously, the X11 key codes are not 1 byte wide as most, I think. I believe they're 2. So it's gonna be a little bit inconvenient. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, right. Why do they have to... Oh no, wait. That's 12. Oh, fuck. Okay, let me try that again. Oh, all right. Wait. If if all the key codes oh no, I was gonna say if all the key codes I need are under 127, then I can do the conversion with minimal effort. Now, of course, we need to just defecate on the mouths of developers, of course, right? All right, but this is for the OS keys, so I might be able to get away with doing a little trick there. Let's see. So now I'm just checking key codes that I know I might need. Okay, I'm not gonna try the power. I'm not gonna try the power keys, of course. Okay. Okay. All right. So most key codes are below 127. So actually, I don't have to do a like I don't have to do take a really big chunk of memory just to make sure that every key code maps to a certain index, right? That means I can do the conversion utilizing minimal memory, which is nice. Okay. You know what? I think I think maybe, just maybe, I actually want to put everything into the same file because if we're gonna be sharing state and it's just a couple functions that we need to do some shady redirection for, then actually we would end up with a lot of small files for basically no gain. So you know what? So you know what? Forget about this. Did I change something here? I guess I did. Okay. So actually, and yeah, I know. I'm just renaming things thus far. Just bear with me for a minute. I'm thinking, okay? It's important to think. So, oops. And I'm gonna put X keyboard. So the redirection we have to do is so minimal that actually it makes no sense to have multiple files. But right, I should have just I should have just read the file more thoroughly, right, before I started creating additional ones. But anyhow, so yeah, but I mean, if we put everything in the same file, you know what's the benefit? When you want to use keyboard, you just include keyboard. That's that, right? I mean, that's the idea. That's the idea of abstraction, that you make very complex stuff, like you more compact, more easier to understand. At least in programming, that's the concept. Usually, sometimes it means create useless classes non-stop. classes that do nothing. Classes that do nothing but satisfy the object-oriented madness. So yeah. All right. So I'm gonna start by moving the X functions into this file, okay? And I guess, so wait, I can get rid of this one, and okay, so this is gonna have to be part of the init, because I'm gonna have to take the keys that the user wants to use and translate them to key codes. So that's gonna be interesting, but we can do it. So let me just put this in a to-do. I had to create a translation table during initialization. Okay. Table during init. Okay. And this would not be main. This would be x key init. All right. Void, and the key nt is just this. I suppose I could make it run within the X initialization. So yeah, okay. Let's cross. Let's try something out. Okay. And I suppose I would need to have a X destructor, right? And actually, this is void. So this is a nihil, right? So close display. I need to put this into a destructor, which would be just one line. So xkdl. All right. Xnit del. All right. So all we have to do is, in the case that we have a display, just how do you say? Oh boy, I can't think. In the case that we have a display, just make sure that we make these calls, right? So I'm gonna do some renaming here. And yeah, this is, I'm gonna comment it out, because what I need to do is, during this initialization, I need to populate a translation table with these values, okay? Basically, the key codes would be, actually, you know what? I think that initialization function, I'm better off generating it than doing it by hand. I can show you actually. So it's going to set, and if you take a look at keyboard lay, I think it is, yeah. So I believe I've shown you this before, but the way I generate the keyboard, the key map, is every key here corresponds to a key code, right? So the key is the index into the translation table, all right? The key code is the index into the translation table. And so basically, what I should do is take these key sims at runtime, right? So at initialization, translate them into key codes with this function right here, and use that key code as an index into an array that makes a translation into the proper key code, the one that we're using at runtime. And the reasons why I do this, why I do that translation, is because it makes no sense to have a key code 200 and I don't know, no, not 200, but it makes no point to have a key code that's 100 when I only have like 9 keys I'm interested in, right? So it's a question of what your program wants to do. There's no point in being able to recognize the press of the control key if your program doesn't make use of that, right? Unless you're doing it for signal handling, right? Like you're doing a Control C to terminate and shit like that. So yeah, we should actually generate it, but it's gonna be interesting because I'm gonna have to generate the function that generates the array, right? So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, and hopefully I will get to doing it. Okay, but for now, let's just be a little bit more. How do you say? Let's be a little bit more focused here. I'm gonna try and focus as best as I can, and I'm gonna put this on the redundancy just out of spite. So emb dpy, that would be the display environment variable, right? So we just want to point it to that. We don't want to modify it. I'm never making that mistake again. I'm never making that mistake again. And what we want to do is during initialization, we want to get that variable, right? So first off, we initialize keyboard, which is just global state visible only to this file. And okay, so should we open first? No. Well, actually, yeah, because if we can't do this part, then there's no point in trying to go any further, right? If we fail here, then the whole keyboard support doesn't work. So, all right. So here, what we want to do is say keyboard mdpy would be get env, get environment, and I want to get display. So this is basically what I talked at the beginning of the episode. And I'm just assuming that it would work like this. I'm not entirely sure. So we'll have to test. We'll have to test. So if this is not null, then we know we have we know we're running this this code on X, right? So actually let me make a comment just to be explicit about it. Handle X. And we want to do the key and T, the X key and T. Okay. And for now, it will be just that. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. No, it was not that difficult. All right. And so now the thing is, when we read the events on the input, we're gonna have to do some redirection here. I don't want to add another evaluation at a function that needs to run every frame, right? Because we already having some evaluations. You know, is this a release event or a press event or is it being held down? You know, things like that. So we want to make this have as little jumps as possible. You know, you cannot make it entirely branchless, but we're gonna give it our best, okay? So I guess what I'm gonna do here, I am in fact gonna have a function pointer to do that redirection, okay? Anyhow, I'll think about that later. So what we have to do now, first and foremost, is have our destructor which we don't have to call manually. That's really cool. So I close. This is just sent as an at exit. So anytime our program closes, even if it crashes, hopefully it will run this function. Else we're fucked. So anyhow, actually I should call this first. Okay. XVDL. All right. And I suppose I need to forward declare that, right? Yeah. It's not the worst thing I've ever done, so. And I already have a forward decals section, so why not? All right. Fun fact. Fun little fact. I hate having to do forward declarations so badly that when I wrote an interpreter for a small language that I'm working on, like I'm not working on it right now, but eventually I will resume working on it. I hate having to do forward declarations so much that I made the interpreter for that language like a two-pass, right? So it reads a file, it fetches all the symbols, it fetches all the names, and if it cannot find that name in its internal dictionary, it will just take it on faith that at some point in the program you have defined what that name, or you have declared that name actually. And then it will do a second pass, it will read the file again, now hopefully having found the declarations of everything. So I went through all of that effort just because I hate forward declaration. So that's a funny little bit. Anyhow, okay, so let's look at I guess first things first, we need to generate this translation table. What I'm interested in is how I would work with it, okay? I suppose I would have the, let me just delete this. Okay. So I suppose, so KeyRD is where you actually take the input, right? So the X KeyRD would be this, right? So getting all the events and the key codes for it, and getting whether it's a release or press event. And so whether the key is being held down or it's being tapped, that's the rest of the system will handle it. It only needs to know that. Is it a key press or is it a key release? Everything else, it's already coded. So actually there's not a lot we have. There's not a whole lot we have to do. So what I'm thinking is I would like to actually let's get rid of this box. Okay. So is release actually. So let's do it like this. And actually this should be a bool, right? Let's be responsible. So this is a bool. Is release, and let me just make sure that I'm using I think it's key set. Yeah. Oh. Huh. I made it as a char. That's interesting. Why? Why would I do that? No. I should use bools. I should use bools. Like I don't know how it's implemented. Maybe it's just a type dev. But I trust the standard, right? Let us trust the standard, man. Okay. So if it's just implemented as an int, this is the fail of the century. I've already said that many times, but okay. So it's just a one-time flag that I need. I can't just do an int flags and and just use it as a bit field, right? I can just do that because it's one bit that I need. So yeah. Anyhow, let's do it rel, and the one is key. Okay. So we need bool rel and char key, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so this would be this. Actually, no. This would be the index. So this would be the index into our translation table, okay? And actually, I like to write it as that, like that. It's just a little thing I do. So index and key would be, let's say, late. I'm gonna say x late, so translate. Index, right? So this should give us the exact same. So this should give us the Linux key code, right? The Linux key code equivalent of this key. That would be the idea. And let me check one thing, right, real quick. So if I do A, I get key code 38. If I do shift, okay, right. So it ignores modifiers. That's just perfect. It's just what I want. Excellent. Nice. At last, X11 does something that does not disappoint me. Good job. Good job. I really mean that. Good job not making Shift A different key code. You're great. You're amazing. I love you. Okay. So release would be F type is key release, right? There's a little bit of a problem here. I would need to know. I would need to know if this is a keyboard event, right? So I don't remember how that's supposed to work. So let's see. The event mask I set. So if this works the way I think it's supposed to work, when I did the xselect input, I provided an event mask, right? And so I should only be getting these events. That's the way I understand it, right? If because else, why do I have to specify a mask? So if it works the way that I think it works, then we're fine. Okay. I know. Here's the problem. And this is such a low this is such I wouldn't say low level, but some people will probably consider it so. So I would say low level. This is such a low level thing. Listen, I'm reading directly from standard in with medium raw keyboard, right? And so we're getting key codes that go from bite-sized keyboard key codes, right? And so they go from 00 to FF, right? And if it's a key press, it's from actually 01, 00 is an error, 01 to 7F, okay? And then 80 to FF, actually 81, because I would suppose 80 is also an error. And so 81 to FF would be a key release. And that's how the loop says, okay, so this is a key release. And so I actually have to emulate that, right? because what I want to do here is, well, not like this actually. What I want to do is have a function call here, like a function pointer, and just call that. But what I'm gonna do now for demonstration, just for demonstration, is the keyboard. What did I call it? MDPY, mDisplay, different to null. Then we would have one call, else we would have this, right? So I'm not gonna do it with an if. I'm gonna do it with a function pointer. So I save myself the if. But for now, just for demonstration. So this would be one call, and it would return. It basically would be a void, right? You would send it the input buffer, and just fills it up with bytes defining a key press or key release event. And so that's the way this function is going to have to work, right? So I need to pass it a char pointer. Okay. Oops. And I have to pass it a char pointer. Or actually, I could make this. I suppose I could make this part of the global state. Though someone is bound to be mad at me for doing it that way, but you know what? It's my code, so yeah. So I would need that iBuff, and what I would do is just just append to it, right? Because it's a pointer, I can just do that. So I would have to translate and then set the high bit, right? So we want to set the high bit if this is true, and so that would be 0 times this, right? I suppose, yeah. Is it worse if I do it with multiplication? I don't know. I don't know a faster way to do it. So, okay. So we set the release bit, the high bit, if we have a release event. Okay. Else, because of the mask that we have chosen, then I'm assuming it's nothing else. Not a mouse event. No, nothing. Okay. If we ever decide to change that mask, then I'll see about it. But for now, this is good enough. So, okay. Let me think about this for a second. I want to say diref ibuff equals key, and then ibuff plus plus, right? And so if we have multiple events, you have your ibuff direction here, right? And then you plus plus that, and you append and you set that again, and then you plus plus that, and you set again, and so okay. And so you fill up the input buffer. Yeah, that I think that should work, and I am recording. But I'm just scared that I'm talking to myself. It's I think it's a fairly logical fear to have. Anyhow, actually, let me check for how long. Okay, an hour. That's okay. All right, so we have to define this translation table, and just let me check real quick. I want to check the key map, and yeah. So the codes that are 0 here are keys that are not used. Okay. And here, yeah, there are no, these are, you see, so the keys that we have in use is that this list is shorter than the total list of keys, right? So this is what I was saying. If a key is not in use, then just pressing that key just means nothing, means do nothing, right? Okay. And these numbers that this table gives, right? So this is, so this value here is the key code of a given key, right? You press, it takes that key code, finds the appropriate index into our key map, okay? And so it takes that index, and that is the code that we use internally. Okay. All right, fine. And are any of these higher than 128? I think not. I don't quite remember how I was populating this one, so let's actually check with the generator. Okay, so it should be somewhere around here. Layout, key map, lookup table. Okay, right, so this is what generates keylay. And okay, and it does just that. Okay. Can't think of a smart way to do it. You know, there's a thing. There's a thing called comment etiquette, right? Etiquette. I don't know how to properly pronounce that one, but you know, etiqueta, right? So this is where it's at. You know, just let people know you don't know. Okay. Just making fun of myself here. Okay, so um, so here it's populating the enum, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I get that a lot of my videos is just me smoking and reading code. Yeah, do you guys not read code? Come on. Anyhow. Okay, so here is where it's defining, this is where it makes the separation between what? Oh, the non-TY, right. So this is for keys that are non-text input, right. I remember that. So trying to follow along here. And oh, so I'm populating, right, I'm a handsome devil. I'm populating all the lists in one go. Holy shit. I have forgotten about this bit. Yeah. So well, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so it's the key code on one hand and the key name on the other. So here I'm doing here I'm populating the enum, and here I'm populating the keyboard, the key map. And key code corresponds to whatever I set here. Okay. So, and so I need to see what key I does. Okay. All right. So key name shift and oh. Well. Okay, so what? All right, pardon me. I'm just a little bit bedazzled. Okay, so so all this is doing is just doing a two-way translation. Why did I Why did I write it like that? Why? Why in the name? Why? Why did I write it like that? Uh, I guess I thought maybe at one point I want to do two-way translation, but I don't think I do. Well, it's there. It's there if I ever need to, right? So actually, oops. So I would guess that actually what happens here is that I never translate from the key map. Let's check. Right. I never do it. I only use keylay, right? Well, wouldn't you know? I mean, this is weird. Like, like past live, what the fuck? But like past me, what the fuck? But honestly, it it makes my work, makes my job much simpler, right? So fine, I guess. The only thing I need to do now is this X-leg table only needs to translate a it only needs to translate this index into a into the Linux key code as we have it on the keylay table. And because so it needs to translate it into a Linux key code, so then I can pass it to the keylay, and so the rest of the pipeline is just the same. I only have to change this one part. Well, you know, when I went into this, I was saying, okay, so I need to do re-implementation of like the entire keyboard. I came into this mentalized like that, but apparently, uh, it was way simpler than I thought. Well, shit. Okay, so yeah, I guess my life is easy for one. Now the question would be, how cheap is an array lookup? That would be the question, because what happens here is that when I do it in X, I'm sparing myself from doing this additional read. Is my shift key fucked or what? Oops, I don't know what happened here. So, oh, I don't have mouse support, right? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have to live with this now. Shit. But like I was saying, using X, I'm sparing myself having to do this read directly because, you know, if I was a betting man, I would say that at some point, X is gonna do this read call for me, right? Because it needs to read from the device, either read from the device or read from something, okay? So it's gonna have to do this read at one point. But okay, so I'm sparing myself having to do this syscall by hand, but it means an additional loop and like going through the X event loop. Right? So I have to go through this loop and do two array lookups. So this one and the other one. Yeah. So I mean, probably not by much, but it's gonna be slower. It's gonna be. I mean, it's not gonna be slower by much, by like a wide margin, but it's gonna be slower. You know, it's gonna be slower in like like it's gonna be so insignificant that it doesn't really matter. But I mean, it is at the end of the day, it is more work. That's my point. The good thing is, I guess, that it is slightly slower, but like slightly, I mean, so slightly that it would be not unnoticeable to a human, right? So I'm being petty about this, right? Let me be clear on that. I'm being petty about about this here, but it would be slower, quote unquote. But of course, I get all the benefits of having a desktop, right? Well, not a desktop actually. I'm using a window manager, DWM, by the way. Oh, that was not supposed to happen. So, I guess what I should do is define, stop talking and define this function. But I'm just so pumped. I'm just so pumped that I actually don't need to do as much work. It's like such a nice feeling. Like the bits I have to do in C are actually the easier part. The more mind the wrenching part is gonna be the when I go over to Perl and modify the generator. That's gonna be the worst part, right? But everything else, um, hmm, okay, okay. Let's get to it. So, first and foremost, I'm just gonna copy this. So it would be xprd. Hmm. Actually, this no. Actually, I'm wrong. This should be I. Yeah. uh, I'm thinking. Excuse me. I'm just a little bit lost here. Should I make these? I'm thinking if I should add something to the global state. I think not. I think not because this is a define, right? It's a constant, so I can just assume that it is. So actually, while pending and oh crap, because I cannot store more bytes in the input buffer than the size of the input buffer, right? So I actually need a counter here. Okay. So yes, it's not the end of the world. It's just one of those things that annoys me. Okay. What I do have to add to the global state, now that I think about it. Okay. So I'm gonna put this right here. Yeah, I'll stop being mean. I'll stop being mean to X when I get this working, okay? I promise. I pinky promise. So, oh, and let me get the... Get, okay, so xlib keysim, I guess. No, I'm gonna do this differently. I'll show you later. Okay. So I'm gonna need xlib and our standard. Okay. So I need all standard for the find window. Okay. Fine, and now I need that function pointer. Okay. So I was here thinking I'm gonna have to make every entry point a function pointer and change it at runtime. And actually, I wound up with just a single function pointer. So that's actually kind of nice. Okay. So it should be void PRD, and it takes char pointer fiber. Okay. Oh, I actually spilled something in my shirt. Well, crap. Okay. I wonder if the same thing I was wondering at the beginning. Like, is this the name, or do I have to give it a name? I suppose we'll find out soon. Okay. This would just be keyboard PRD and pass to that the eyeball. Okay. I'm gonna do it like this. Okay. And this is actually a void. All right. Actually, this bit always needs to run before the fetching proper. So it's part of how it's hard to explain sometimes. It's part of how I signal that that an event happened not too long ago, right? So what Evlingo does is it makes it so the clock doesn't slow down immediately after you press the key. You let go of the key. So I can show you. Look, if I press one direction key and then another, there's a short delay, right? You see? So this is sort of a way to mitigate that, right? So the clock keeps running faster, and so the read happens at that speed, right? So you don't have to wait for like an additional 10 frames or whatever. So it's more responsive, basically. Okay. This is a one-liner. Okay. Okay. So in X key and T, I want to set keyboard KRD to X KRD. Okay. Oops. Like this. And I suppose I need to forward declare that. That's fine. Or I can just... Yeah, I don't like forward declarations. I went on a little tangent about that, so... So, here are the else. Okay. All right. Yeah, so this was minimal. Now, of course, I need to get it to work, right? But it was not as complicated as I thought it would be. Okay. And I actually need to import it. Import, include, whatever. Okay. All right. um, okay, so now all that's left is making that translation table. Okay. So this is the part that's a little bit weird, right? Because this is the part that is a little bit weird because how can I explain? Unless I just go key by key, right? On like here on Sev and like copy the key codes, like maybe I can get a list. No? If I could get those key codes as a list, then I guess I could. Because the thing here is that if I go to the play file, the difference here is that here Escape on the Linux Virtual Console side, it's actually key code 1. Escape is not, right? And yeah, I don't think it follows the same order. It's very weird why they would do that. Oops. So it's 9, and then oh, Does it actually follow the same order? Yes, it does. Holy shit. Ooh. Then it's actually kind of easy. Okay, the next is... No, it's not this. It's red and shift, maybe? No, control, yeah. Okay, no, so it does follow the same order. Well, good job. Good fucking job. Okay, so let me just check the... Okay, so now I'm pleasantly surprised. Okay, so it should be... and yeah, tilde, then left shift. Nope. Oh, it's the old, right. Then left shift. And then the brass. Okay. I call it brass because Brazil, right? So yeah, it's a dumb name, but it's what I got. Anyhow. Then after minus, should be right shift. Right shift, perfect. Just like I'm already pretty sure it's exactly the same, but just making absolutely sure. Okay. Then left alt. It's really weird how it's keypad and then left alt. That's really weird, but that's the way it is. So 65. Then caps lock. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Space caps lock. Muy bien. The Spanish came out there. Okay. So F1. Lock F1 to yeah. It's exactly the same. And you should stop. It should give a jump at F11 exactly. Yeah. Then it comes so F10 numlock and scroll lock. Okay, so all right. Now here would be my question. No. Wait a minute. So let's do the math real quick, okay? So 135 minus 9, okay? So that would be 128. Right super it's the same order. Okay, so should I make it minus 9 or minus how much? No, minus 8. It should be minus 8. No? Right. It's not 28. It's... I'm sorry, I can't do math. You know, I should be like a meme, right? Like a compiler writer can't count to 13. I'm a meme at this point, but anyhow. If it's minus 8, then that's 130 minus 3, 127. Okay, alright. Then, oh god, that's so nice. That's so nice. X11 devs, I'm so sorry about everything I said about you. I mean, at least on this domain, you did not fuck up. Good job, man. Good job. You've made my life so much easier. I'm serious. I mean this, okay? I can trust talk. I can trust talk when I don't like something, but I can also be grateful, okay? This is great. This is fucking great. You deserve a medal for not fucking with the natural order, okay? So actually, the translation table is gonna be super easy to make. Super easy to make. It's trivial at this point. So anyhow, let me show you. Because the way we do, if I can find the translating function. Okay, so pause keyboard lay. I think I showed you this one before. But anyhow, for a none, which is basically the keys that are not on my keyboard, right? So I couldn't map them even if I wanted to, until I get a new keyboard, obviously. So the keys I can't map, I just don't map them, right? So there are none and some number, which is the index of that how do you say, of that key, whatever. Wait a second. Right, what am I thinking? I don't even have to do a translation table. I don't even have to do a translation table. Because holy shit, I don't need to. Golly, I just need to subtract from God, this is easier than I thought it would be. This is way easier than I thought it would be. Shit. Anyhow, so here's what. It's just 8x minus 8. Ah. Okay, that's perfect. That's just perfect. Oh my god. I thought this was actually going to be difficult. Damn. Anyhow. Good props, good props. X11 has gotten back into my good graces. I'm gonna remove the dissing now. It's no longer gross, right? It's just X stuff. Okay. I mean, your bad design decisions are still there, but just because of this one thing, I'm no longer mad at you. Okay. I'm officially no longer mad at X11. Anyhow. Yeah, right. So this should work. This should actually work. And I don't even need to make a separate translation table. This is amazing. This is truly amazing. Okay. So now this bit where the X11 name is included. So this is just going to be one of those things where, I don't know, you can swap them out if you're more used to the X11 key sims, right? Like, I don't need it. I don't need to, and I don't need it for translation. So it's one of those things that's just there. If you prefer my names for the keys, which are a little bit stupid, right? So my names for the keys are a little bit stupid because it's just like, I don't know, like something I thought of. If you don't like them, you can just go to here to the pause keyboard lay and just change here where it says Linux name. You just write X11 name, and that's that. So I shouldn't say Linux name, actually. I should say R because it's my definition of a key, not the Linux kernel definition or anything. It's mine. So yeah, I shouldn't drag the good name of the kernel into the dirt that I have developed. Okay. Just a thing. Okay. All right. Good. So am I missing anything? Let's see. So I don't need the keysims. I can just delete this. And I don't need to modify the interface. I think I'm done. Holy shit, that was easy. Okay, so let's actually see if it works, right? So I want to remove X keyboard. That's it. Okay. So I need to go into Automat and run my config. Okay. Okay, we have errors. This is beautiful. Okay. Oh, right. Right. I'm sorry, people. I made a very dull mistake. Okay. So the thing is, I say null, and in my head, null is just a zero, right? There's no difference between, you know, let me show you, whatever. So void pointer cast 0 and just 0 to me is the same thing, because it is the same thing. The difference is only symbolic. The both numbers, they're both set to 0. The only difference is, it's different to the compiler, but not in my head. So yeah, the thing is, when you're comparing against a character, like I'm doing here, it's so you're basically comparing a number to what I know is a number, but the compiler conceptualizes differently. So actually, I need to put it like this, right? So that's that basically. And yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see what other errors we have. Oh, I need standard bool. Right. So many standards. I have so many headers in this file. It's incredible. Wait. Let's not run it yet. I wanna. Okay, so I have TTY. Okay. X, and actually it's keyboard XTPY. So let me search it like this. Okay. And now let's actually do a replace. So XTPY. I want to replace it for keyboard XTPY. Okay. So no, not this one. Not this one. Not this one. Yes, this one. And yes, this one. And yes, this one. And not this one. Okay. So this one that wrapped kind of funny. All right. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, let's try it again. Hey, where is? So, mat or install. Okay. So X1, right? Same mistake. Same mistake. Okay, so let's go to the top. Place Xwin with keyboard Xwin. Okay. So not this one. Yes, and that's that. Okay. Let's see if we have just by itself, just to make sure. Okay, okay, all right. So let's check. Let's do it again, and it compiles. Okay, that's the first step, right? Now what we have to do is run it and see if it segfolds. Moment of truth, people. All right, stack smashing. We did it, people. We did it. Ah! Holy shit. But you know, this is kind of interesting, right? Because you know how people say that C is an unsafe language. You know how people say that C is an unsafe language? Not really. Not really with a modern compiler. So anyhow, it's gonna have to do. It's gonna have to do, I would suppose. With wait a second. So there are two instances where it could happen. Right here, right? It could happen here. Maybe I go overboard on this one. And huh. Give me a second here. No. Okay. This is alright. I mean, if it's giving me a... If it's giving me a stack smash... Oh, smash! If it's giving me a stack smash, it would mean... I'm pretty sure that it would mean either one of these printfs that this program said, not the keyboard part, part of the logic is using some dumbass printfs to write to stand that out, and I would guess because I'm not using like the string cat. I'm doing it like manually, and maybe at one point I made a mistake over there, but it's a little bit strange. It could also be well, I mean, but now that I think about it, I ran this program not too long ago. But I did have these two that disabled. I'm sorry. Wait, let me check. Oops, let me check that real quick. So actually, I can just do auto. We still stack smash. Okay. So no, it's not these two codes. Which in a very weird case, they could do some. They could overflow if I made a mistake, but no. So where else could it be? Let's see if we survive the init. It, oh yeah, standard error and a comma. So it's actually auto. Alright, so we don't survive the init. This is problematic. Huh. This is actually a little bit of a problem. Hmm. Okay. Let me find something to listen to. First I want to check. Okay, it's almost 2 hours. Okay, fine. What should I listen to? What about the Daggerfall soundtrack, eh? Does that sound good? Yeah. That's nice. So, trying to... Like, I'm trying to find a reason in my head why we would get this error, but can't be sure to be entirely honest.
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Over a year ago, King Lysandus of Daggerfall died honorably on the field. He was as loyal a subject, ally, and friend as you are. I did grieve for him, but his spirit does not rest. With a spectral army, he haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge. I do not know why a good and loyal man would be so cursed. Perhaps you can find the answer and close the marble jaws of oblivion, bringing peace to his soul. I ask this as your emperor and your friend. I have one lesser request. Several years ago, I wrote a letter to the Queen of Daggerfall. It never arrived. The letter was of a sentimental and personal nature. If you find and destroy that letter, I will be grateful. Now, my champion, rest
Oop.
well this night, for tomorrow you sail for the kingdom of Daggerfall.
Daggerfall. Anyhow, look at this. This is one of my error messages. It says I messed up the math somewhere. Isn't that cute? Anyhow. Okay. So this is not good. This is definitely not good. I must be missing something. But I know the initial error happens here. It has to. So we'll have to check. So what I'm gonna do, and this is just prime time caveman debugging, let me tell you that. So I'm just gonna use this to see if I survive the calls, right? That's all it is. Okay. Ah. Alright, so we got to F3. Okay. So I would assume I messed up the function pointers. That would be my guess, okay? And you see how quickly I narrowed down where the problem was? You saw how quickly I narrowed the problem down. Look. I just added 4 lines. I got up to here and now I know it's here. Okay. And you fools can't debug without like breakpoints. Get out of here. Who needs an IDE? Losers. Losers need IDEs. Suckers need IDEs. And bodyguards, of course. Suckers always need bodyguards. Anyhow. I suppose something of what I did is wrong. You know, that's a start, right? So, let's try it like this, okay? What I'm gonna do, just because this is the way I know it to work, okay? So I'm just gonna say type diff RDFunc, and we're just gonna say that we have an RDFunc member, KeyRD, okay? Actually, I'm gonna make it card. I'm gonna make it FTRD, yeah, whatever. And no, just to see if this works, you know. I would suppose it would make a difference, maybe not. Like maybe it will. Anyhow. Maybe I need to reference it now. We didn't even get to that, right? We didn't even get to that. We died here when we thought we were assigning a pointer. The whole thing just died. So my guess would be maybe the way I declared it, maybe it was the way I declared it, right? Because I mean, honestly, how many of you remember by heart how to do how to declare a function pointer? I know I don't, and I'm not ashamed of that. I know how to do it with a type def. That I know by heart. But declaring it without a type def, no, I don't know that one by heart. And I do not want to duck it out, not this time. So let me search. Okay. All right, let's just try it. Okay, stack smashing again, and we know what it is. We know what it happens. So Do I really have to do it like that? Do I? Nope. No, that doesn't make any difference. Okay. What's strange to me? Nope. Still not. Wait a second. Are you shitting me? There is something here I very much do not understand. Let me just check, okay? Actually, I need to... Oh, just because. Why not? Okay, so it's not that? Then... Okay. This one got really weird, really quick. Which is interesting. Which is very interesting, actually. Okay, so it was apparently not a problem with the way I declared the function pointer, apparently. So the question is, where is the problem? Could it be this one? I can't fucking believe it. I cannot fucking believe it. It worked when I tested. So I must be missing something. Because I did this one in the original file, and when I compiled that original one into an executable, it worked just like that. So why doesn't it work now? And even worse, gets me to a stack smashing. Like, things need to be seriously fucked up in order for that to happen. Well, in the original, if I remember correctly, I had the key sims. I think it's this header right here. Okay, I need to do just the compilation. Okay, so let's actually check. What is it? Use live. No, it should be include now. So there is xlive. Keysim.h. So I know this is supposed to work, so I'm not gonna take it out because I know it's supposed to work, but it must be missing something, and this is really weird. Like, it probably is missing something in there, and so it fucking crashes. But I cannot tell what it is that it's missing. So What could it be? Alright, this really puts me out of commission for the day. I gotta be honest. Let's see, maybe... Because, I mean, those were the only two XLive headers I had in the other one, so... Maybe there is some conflict? Maybe there is some conflict between XLive and this? I don't know. I really don't know. So now if I run, it should stack smash again. Wow. Just wow. So weird. So fucking weird. Yeah. Like, I don't think this is supposed to make a difference, but whatever. Oops, not this one. Stack smash. Okay. This time they got me by the balls. Just how? Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to open up the guts of the compilation. Okay. Oh, it could be right here. It could be these obnoxious compile flags that I use. Because that would be the difference, right? That would be the difference. Yeah. So actually, why the fuck would I move this? Makes no sense. Okay. Yeah, I would assume if I had to bet, I would assume it would have something to do with these obnoxious compile flags that I use. Maybe these fuck with the way that you're supposed to compile X stuff on the Rex, right? Maybe. But I mean, it's kind of surprising that works just fine. That it would work just fine without that one call. Like, what is so special about that one call? Like, oh, maybe there is something to it. I don't know. The problem is, if I take it out, then holding down a key results in continuous key release events when I'm keeping it held down. And obviously there are ways to just dance around the issue, but they're so fucking confusing. I would rather not dabble in that. Okay, tell you what. I'm gonna try this. I don't really think it would be this, or well, let me rephrase that. I really wish it wouldn't be this, right? But maybe it is. So yeah, it's one of those things that just one of those things that I can give it a shot. What? Oh, what the fuck did I do? No, 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 no. I meant EMB BPY, okay. Alright. Stack smash, okay. So now, it's not my flex. Then what could it be? This is just really weird. I can fix it. I can fix it. Sure. Hmm. I mean, here's the thing. It's not that it's not that this symbol is not defined, right? Because what I'm doing here is doing the declaration myself, because I can't find on which header this thing is defined. But here's what happens. If this resulted in an undefined symbol, the compiler would tell me, okay? So this symbol is defined, but for some reason, it's causing a stack smash. And I don't understand why. I simply cannot understand why. I must have messed up one of these things. Something here I must have messed up. Now this won't make a difference, pretty sure. It was for a shot. Right, I'm gonna take it out just to check one thing, okay? I mean, it works, but it's giving me, right? So the arrow keys move me like they should, but because of the auto repeat, I'm getting constant key release events that shouldn't be there in the first place. But trying to disable that behavior causes a stack smash. This is uncanny. Could it be that it's not this? Could it be that's not really that call, this read that I'm doing. I don't think so, but let's try. Because anyway, this read is only important here. It's only important on the BT. So I really don't think. Yeah. Well, that's just one thing that I thought. Well, I don't think so, but maybe. Right? No, I have to be honest. I don't know why this is happening. Uh, and I mean, I used this call because when I tried it on the other executable, it worked just fine. Here, not really. So, well, let me just check. Okay, so I've been recording for 2 hours, and I'm not tired, right? But I don't like making the videos too long because my internet connection is pretty bad, and these take like a couple hours at least to upload, right? So if I go too overboard, I'm gonna be like waiting for it to upload forever, and that's really annoying. I mean, I know how to fix this actually, without this one call. I know how I'm supposed to fix it. The thing is, it's very confusing. So what you have to do is you need to do an XPeak event, right? I think it's like this, and I would suppose you pass it display, and next event, right? So you need to create another one of these, and basically this will give you the next event in the queue without, how do you say, the next event in the queue without actually popping it out. But I'm pretty sure it will block. I'm pretty sure if there are no events left, it will block. So actually I need to check this again, maybe, just to make sure. Okay, so this should be next event, right? Basically, because what we want to determine is whether we need to ignore this or not. Okay, so what happens is you get a release and press like right at the same time. Okay, and so the comparison you have to do is I think so next event type equals no, the next event would be press. Next event would be press, and the first one would be, actually this doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if one is press or the other one is release. What matters is that it's two events for the same key, which is physically impossible, happening at the same time, right? So there must be a way. There must be a way to check the time of an X event. So let's actually duck that one out. So let's search X event time. I think it's time just like that, but just to make entirely sure, okay? Where's event? So I don't remember. Okay, so if I could just see the structure, that would be everything. Okay. Okay, exactly. Right, so Oh, it's key event is what I want. I want the structure. Where is the structure? Oh, I'm looking at it. Okay. I'm sorry, I got confused with all the comments. Let me zoom out. Alright. So, there's time. Okay, so it's time in milliseconds. Alright. Alright. Hopefully I can do a half-assed compare between those. Okay. So the thing is, if we're getting the same index for both, so now XP key code, if we're getting the same two key codes, the same key twice at the same time, then we know we have to ignore this, right? So time equals f plus time. Let's try it. I'm just gonna try this, and if it doesn't work, I'll fix it next time, okay? Anyhow. I hate it like this. Let me just format this a bit nicely. Okay. Alright. So I'm just gonna do a half-assed continue here, and this might actually break, but this might actually break something, but never mind. Never mind, because I can just kill a window just like that. So if I get stuck, that's fine. So auto. Oops. Well, shit. Do I need to do it X key? Does it work like that? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Alright. That does kind of work. Fun. Woohoo! Alright then. This is fine. So, okay, let's actually save that and go into save.c, and I have a panic timer because of course I would. And the point is, I was developing this in the virtual console where I couldn't just, when I had some glitch, just close the window and open up another, right? So if I had like a fatal glitch, I would be stuck on the same TTY, and I couldn't even switch between them. It was madness. Like it rarely happened, very rarely happened, because I am handling most crashes. But anytime I would get a new crash that I was not there was not in my handling, I would get stuck at the TTY with some glitch, and I would have to power off the PC in order to continue working, which was very annoying. So yeah. That's why I put in the panic timer, so sometimes when I get stuck and the keys don't work, I can just wait that timer out and everything will reset back to normal. So that's sort of what happens. Anyhow, that's why that thing is there. So let's actually increase the panic timer, and I want to run this, and oh, holy shit, you have no idea how happy I am at this working X. Oh shit! The escape key works just fine. Oh, this is so nice. I can write. I might need to tweak the sensibility a little here. But this is pretty fine, right? So this is actually pretty sweet. Yeah. All right. So let's see if, yeah, and it saved it. That's nice. Okay. Oh no, that's a previous one. No, this is not. Okay. But actually, the saving of it is not that difficult now that I think about it. So, I don't remember where it is. It's in the... Oh, right here, right here. So Dampef. I need to see when Dampef is called. Never, apparently. Well, okay, never mind. Never mind. The point is, it works. So let's actually save this. So git commit m x11 keyboard. All right. So yeah, nice. We did it. Yes, we did it. Okay. So right, that's pretty much it then for this video. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much that. So now I can do, now I can utilize my keyboard handling in X. That's just beautiful. I love it. I love it. Anyhow, yeah, that's it from me. Have a good one.